Hello, Stacy. Finished your CC8 and just so proud, so amazing as always. It's so cool watching TJ excel and fly as quickly as he has. And yeah, totally normal to try and get more in-depth opens and stuff. I always say those first few opens might sound a little more kind of broken Englishy and this or that, but as he gets more comfortable, you'll hear more of those typical spellers essays of answers. And yeah, it's tough. The 26 stencil, there really is no other explanation. Certain pencils get stuck more than others, and it could just be kind of how the speller might be poking and pulling down or up a little bit. But yeah, I would just feel it out, and if you feel that they can do the laminate and it would cause less of that interruption or error with the pencil getting stuck, then might as well try that. I trust your intuition with those boards and transitioning. It's good you're not repeating the questions, or do you remember? I know it sounds silly, but it really does make a difference. I love how I wonder what you're going to say, or even, go to what makes sense, yada yada. And let me see what I have for my notes. Yeah, TJ, amazing, open, awesome prompts, good job having your hand down. And if anything, when he and other people are doing opens, instead of kind of trying to ask or confirm, like, did you mean to say M, or what was the last word, or like saying like, okay, you had because, now what's after because. But if he's still just continuing to be a little all over the place, or kind of get in those random, a lot of people do the NOST, or just get stuck in that kind of motor loop, that's when I would just, take a break, write down what he has so far. I did put that as a note for one, because you do have so much experience and both your boys are open and everything. It really is very impressive how much you're able to retain before, writing down what they said. But for these newer clients, and as you're transitioning into those more lengthy answers, sometimes just taking a second to put the boards down and write the few words that he does have just gives you a little reset, gives him a reset, and helps the whole flow of things. And so yeah, instead of asking him like which word to go back to, I would just say, hey, you know what, when you poked because, 0 mispokes, super accurate, very purposeful, nice and slow. I know you've said a few words since this, but that was, in my mind, the most reliable last word that you poked out. So let's go back to because and next word. And that's when you can kind of do that, go to what makes sense, or what are you looking for, or, letter by letter. With Jake, again, good job being aware of not repeating words or questions. Great poking, great prompts, awesome placement. Good job making sure that he puts the pencil down after each word or chunk. There was just one incident where I think one of the warm-up words was baseball, and then a few questions later, one of the answers was baseball. So just be aware of that, and typically we try not to have him spell the same word more than once in a lesson. He was doing good with his legs crossed, but I do usually try and coach most of my clients with both legs down to get those both knees 90 degrees. And then, the more fluent and comfortable they get, maybe they can have that leg up. But you really do just want to ensure that super smooth range of motion with no interruptions. Remember to get his hips all the way back so he has that nice straight back. Maybe lower the board just a little bit. And then for the 26 stencil, sometimes, all the times, there's no like period or anything. So once they are kind of breaking open more, sometimes they say, end of the sentence or end of the thought. Just your done button can be that space where you're holding the hand. But yeah, I would just, as you are breaking open with both of these guys, there was the one instance about the Yankees thing, which was great, and it flew naturally and everything, but just really, really try and stick with lessons and the pinks and the tight opens and creative writings from the lesson, just because, it's what Elizabeth, drills, lessons only, because you never want there to be a random case of them going rogue and maybe saying something that, would lead to you wanting to call the authorities or anything along that. So as you are building that rapport and having them answer more and hopefully lengthier answers, just really try and stay on track with the lesson. But that also will help you kind of be a little more creative with those creative writings at the end of the lesson that you can really work towards getting a very awesome, lengthy answer. And yeah, let me know if you have questions.